You all just participated in a first look common side effects panel earlier this morning. How did that go?
Really great.
Yeah, we thought it was sensational. Fans seemed to really appreciate it. We're very excited.
Yeah, it was really, really fun. It was fun to watch everyone watch it for the first time.
And can you tell me more about the show's premise?
Yeah, the show is about two people, Marshall and Francis, who have discovered a mushroom that's the world's best medicine. But there's a conspiracy of powerful interests that are after them, including some big pharma elements and a couple DEA agents who are played by Joseph and Martha.
And can you tell me what the inspiration was behind the creation of this particular series?
Yeah, my co-creator Joe and I were talking about there are a lot of themes that were really interesting to us in the world, including drugs, psychedelics, wellness, healthcare, police. We were also talking about a lot of kind of movies that we liked, thrillers, 90s kinds of The Fugitive, things like that, and all kinds of strange mythical elements, a whole big stew of stuff we've been talking about and thinking about, and we tried to put it all into the show and make something that was just next level. You'd never seen anything like it before in animation.
And I wanted to ask you all, as voice actors, can you tell me more about the characters that you will each be playing?
Yeah, I play Frances, and she's conflicted, trying to do the right thing, but working for a big pharma company, and then runs back into a high school friend who is trying to do good and save the world.
I play Harrington, who's a detective or a DEA agent who is, I think, safe to say, kind of a goofball, but who takes the job seriously. Was kind of goofy. Unintentionally, maybe. I don't know.
Perfectly goofy.
And I play Capano, who is also a DEA agent, and he's very serious about his job. He loves his partner, Harrington, and he connects dots when they probably shouldn't be connected. Probably over-connects some dots, too.
And how did you all prepare for your roles in the series?
A lot of throat exercises.
Yeah.
A lot of like
hot water.
tea.
6 months shadowing the DEA,
Yeah,
turning a big firm.
No, I wouldn't. Yeah. Well, this is my first time doing a voiceover, so I was just super nervous to begin with. But whatever Steve said, do, and however Steve said it. That's what I did.
We knew all of them from their work before. I worked with Emily on Veep, and I knew Martha's work on Baskets and her stand-up, and she was friends with my co-creator Joe, and I knew Joseph Lee Anderson because my wife was a writer on Young Rock and directed him in that. He's incredible. So we liked these people, and we knew they'd know what to do. We talked to them a lot about their characters. We encouraged them to improvise and come up with stuff they like to do. So very collaborative and successful, I think.
Yeah, and you set us up for success too, because I know the guy that plays Marshall is Dave King, and him and I got to be in the booth together and improvise together, and it felt much more free flowing than just like saying a line and waiting. So it was just, they set us up for success.
Part of our goal was to capture as much of reality and put it into animation, make the most realish animated show you can imagine, with some exciting, strange elements, but capturing the real energy of these people and their relationships with each other and the way people talk in real life, that was something we were going for.
And speaking of those other works, how did your work on Common Side Effects differ from your previous works?
I'd like to hear Sean answer that, coming off Scavengers.
Yeah, the last show we made was this show, Scavengers Reign, which was a science fiction show. And this was tonally really different, but I think similar to Scavengers, wanting to bring a kind of cinematic feel to it. And like Steve was saying, a lot of the conversations were about 90s thrillers and sort of the cinematic craft of those kinds of movies and the tone. How is it different, though? I mean, it's funny because I think that there was a big question of like what makes something funny. And I think we found that a lot of what makes something interesting in a kind of action science fiction thing is also what makes it interesting in comedy, which is like specificity and nuance, that those things can really heighten a joke the same way they can heighten a dramatic thing. So some similarities and some differences, yeah.
Want us to keep going?
I didn't know if anyone else wanted to answer how it differs from their project, so I paused for that.
No, I think because it is one of my first voiceover shows as well. So just getting the obvious difference of it not being live action, and you got to be really comfortable in sweatpants, which is the dream.
So can you tell me a little bit about the creative team's artistic style and approach to this series?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that all comes out of our co-creator, Joe Bennett, but Sean was one of the directors, and he helped execute some of that. Maybe you can talk about it.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, it's kind of the show, I think, embodies Joe's illustration style and his animation style. If you watch his shorts prior to making Common Side Effects, they share a similar sensibility. The art director, Wes McClain, had art directed a lot of shorts for Joe, and he brings that really kind of photorealistic, painterly quality to the backgrounds and kind of a really delicate light treatment. So I think it was sort of a natural extension of what we've been doing, but then also we got to scale it up in this big way for the series. So we were really happy with how it turned out. I think it's really unique how it looks.
Common Side Effects is labeled as a comedic thriller. So what genre elements and tones can fans expect from the series?
Ooh, that's a great question. I mean, there's some psychedelic elements. There's some elements from all kinds of movies that we like. Too many to list. Conspiracy type movies, unraveling a mystery movies, but also like there's a lot of interpersonal stuff and things that we're lifting from, you know, movies about relationships and how people feel about each other and people with their families. So all over the map, plus just like some crazy comedy stuff that comes from the wildest comedies ever.
Yeah, and I'd say also there's it's a very even though there's fantastical elements, it's a very grounded show. So I feel like a lot of the comedy is the way in which funny people in your life are funny. And I think you said this at the panel that like, a lot of the comedy comes from like you're in a dark or serious situation, but people still try to make each other laugh, and there's funny elements in those experiences. So.
And how did Common Side Effects and this project resonate with each of you, and what inspired you to be a part of this project?
Well, I just love to work, so any job, you know, is a great job for me. But I also had been trying to do more or get into voiceover. This is my first voiceover gig, so very grateful for Steve and Joe and everybody on the team to give me that chance to do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was just so psyched to work with Steve again. He's a dream, and yeah, it just was. I remember when I read I think just like there were asides or something a few years ago, right? And they were just so exciting, and I never read anything like that, and I'd never seen anything like this now, and it's just, yeah, it feels very, very, I don't know, special to be a part of.
I had seen a lot of Joe Bennett's animation and was a huge fan, and also just he's a great guy. And then met Steve with Joe in 2019, and then just they're both brilliant, and so yeah, the project is so smart and funny and sweet, so that's what made me wanna.
I'd say that I got to inherit, everyone had already done work when I stepped into direct, so I got to hear their amazing voices and get scripts from Steve that I felt like just stepping into that, I was like, the inspiration came from just the material that had already been developed was so exciting, and you got to read to the end of the series right at the beginning, and it was like, I've never seen anything like this, I'm so excited. So I think that rippled all the way down with the creative team to just like bring their A game whenever they could.
And it all feeds back when you're working with amazing people. Just keeps getting better and better. More new people come in. Project gets richer. It's awesome.
And for my final question, I wanted to ask you all, what are you all looking forward to the most ahead of Common Side Effects release?
Season 2.
Yeah.
And 3 and 4 and 5.
Yeah, more and more and more of it. Yeah.
Yes, more seasons. That's a goal.
Yeah.
I was excited to come here to Comic-Con. I haven't been here in like 5 years, and it's fun to be back here. Always exciting.